25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. Hope you're doing well if you're out shopping. Maybe you're sitting in your car while your wife is shopping because today is Black Friday after all. So I think sometimes the guys go out for the ride. I'll just take a nap in the parking lot and you go into the mall. So if you're listening to us, you've picked a good time. We've got a really good book to talk about. It's called Jacqueline. It's a novel based on a true story, and Jackie Minniti is on the phone. I'm probably saying her name incorrectly. She's a columnist for The Island Reporter in St. Petersburg. She has been a classroom teacher for over 25 years. It says here she's retired from that now. She is an education writer for the Courier Post, a member of the Florida Writers Association, and a contributor to Chicken Soup for the Soul. How about that? That's an honor in itself, isn't it? A badge of honor of some sort. Jackie Minniti. Am I saying your name right, first of all, and good morning?
You're very close.
What is the right pronunciation?
Minniti.
Minniti, okay. Close enough. Are you here in Florida right now?
No, actually, I am up in New Jersey visiting grandkids and kids and parents for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right, of course.
It was a really lovely day yesterday.
So New Jersey is home, but Florida is your new home?
Yes. We've been in Florida for, 11 years now.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for being on the air with us. You've written about an era in our history that, for some reason, as horrible as the events of World War II were, there's a certain element of romanticism about that era, and I've never really been able to figure that out, but it's nevertheless true.
Mm-hmm. I actually was never really that involved in World War II history until I wrote the book. I just learned so much in the researching of the book. I'd known somewhat about it from my dad because he's actually 99. He turned 99 on the 13th of October.
Wow.
And this story is based on a true experience. It's an experience he had when he was stationed in Rennes, France, with the 127th General Hospital. They reached Rennes the day after D-Day, and they set up a hospital there. And this little girl just became attached to him. And we were never really sure why. There was the language barrier, but for the entire stay, she waited for him at the gate and followed him home, and they kind of learned to communicate through sign language, and he learned some French and taught her some English. And he just had this just lovely memory of this little girl. And when he left Rennes to go to Nancy, the 127th was deployed there because they had to set up another hospital. When he left, he told her that if he ever had a daughter, he would name her after this little girl.
That's how you got your name.
That was me.
Wow, isn't that a sweet story?
He told the story on and on through the years, and it was the only war story he shared with us.
Oh my!
Is she still around? Do you know? Is she still around? He's 99, so she would be at least 20 years his junior, or maybe 15.
Yeah, she was about 12 when he was there. So, and he was in his early 20s. So, yeah, a good 10 years. We tried to locate her because the picture on the cover is actually my dad and Jacqueline. We wanted to be able to have her permission to use her likeness. There was no trace of her. I knew her married name. I looked all over for her. We could not find her. The publisher did the same. So what they did was they photoshopped out her face and put a picture of me when I was 12 on the cover.
Is that right? Oh, okay. That is interesting.
Oh, my.
So
that made it even more special.
So as we read the book...
I wish I could find her because now as an adult, I would like to just talk to her and find out what it was. We do know a lot of the book is fictionalized, but it's really based, there's a lot of truth in it, too. We do know that her dad was a fighter with a pilot with the French Resistance, and he was shot down about, I think it was 1943. So to me, I always thought, maybe there was something about my dad that resonated with her that reminded her of her father. And I took the book in that direction.
It could be. You know what? There might be a lot of truth in that. I guess we'll never know for sure, right?
Mm. Yeah, and it's funny because I did meet her when I was about the same age as she was when she met my dad. She came, in fact, that's the epilogue in the book is true. She came to the pharmacy. She managed. It just was a surprise. She managed to find the pharmacy because she had my dad's address, and she stopped in there, and I saw this beautiful, tall, stylish. Well, she looked tall to me because I was just a kid, but this stylish woman. And my dad said that it was bittersweet meeting her because he had this precious memory of this little girl, and he just couldn't kind of get his head around that now she was this adult.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was young, and I never really thought to question her about exactly what her motivations were. But I really would love to be able to talk with her now.
Wow, that is a sweet story. And so you took it, and you did you take the story and write a novel with a lot of liberties, or was it more like taking a mosaic where a few of the tiles are missing and you filled it in?
I would say the second half of the book is pretty much accurate. The first part, the part about her dad being shot down, that was accurate. The rest of it I got through research, what life was like during those years of occupation. And I was just fascinated by that because to think that people were able to endure through that, it was just awesome. And, how blessed we are to live in a country where we have these freedoms and where we have such abundance. I mean, my dad says he remembers the visit when he went to to her apartment, and her mom invited him up for coffee, and he says he recalls going up these dark stairs, and there were holes in the stairs, so he had to watch where he was going as he made his way up there, and there was just this one room apartment, and the coffee was made of some kind of. He said it was some kind of a dried bean or nut. It wasn't coffee because they didn't have coffee then.
Oh, wow.
But what little they had, they shared. And the part with her meeting him at the station at the end where they're packing to go, that is true. I have the book about Saint Bernadette that it comes up a lot in the book. I have that book with the inscription from her. I have lots of photographs. My dad gave me his folder full of memorabilia, and I pulled a lot from there. So I would say the first half is more fiction. The part about David and the Bergères, I wanted there to be a Holocaust element in the book because.
So that part you made up.
Yeah, I needed a boy because I knew if I was going to write a book for middle grade readers, I wanted to capture all of them. There had to be a boy in it.
Yeah.
So I thought I would combine that. I really wasn't. There wasn't a lot available in terms of research about the Jews in France during that time, but there was a large Jewish population in Rennes, I learned, and there was also a transit. They called it a transit camp in Drancy, which is right outside Paris. And as the occupation went on, and they started rounding up more and more of the French Jews, they would take them to Drancy for a while, and that was like a feeder camp to Buchenwald and Auschwitz. And I found that fascinating because we know about Germany and Austria and Poland, but
that's probably
in terms of France.
And that's probably the direction France would have gone had they not been liberated. I'm guessing that was the plan,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And
they had already started it.
Yeah.
Before the liberation. And
you did a great job with the character of David. I mean, having him pose as a cousin that way to save him.
Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of apparently that was another thing I learned. There were a lot of Jewish children who were hiding in plain sight, and a lot of it was the clergy, the Catholic clergy in France managed to squirrel them away and have them pose as Catholics, and they really risked their lives. That part of it was true. And many of them lost their lives in order to try to save these Jewish children.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that was another thing I learned so much just researching this. There was just so much I didn't know.
Jackie Minniti is our guest, and let me see if I can pronounce the name of the book correctly. Jacqueline?
Jacqueline.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's what my
Very
dad called
beautiful.
her.
Did your dad call you that at all, or just you, Jacqueline?
He called me Jacqueline. It just shortened to Jackie.
Oh, wow. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. This is WOCA.
Okay.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Partly sunny and windy Friday with a shower in a couple of spots. High 78 to 80. Friday night, patchy clouds. A brief shower near the coast. Low 61 to 67. Breezy on Saturday with sunshine and some clouds. A stray shower along the coast. High 77 to 81. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Steve Travis.
We're saving thousands with Robert Palmer.
So rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around. If you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to get the best credit card, if you're looking at student loans, cell phone bills, you name it, rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around.
That's rule number one, just one more vital part of fighting back to stop being a financial zombie. Yes, you can take the mystery out of the complicated world of finances. Take charge when it comes to your money. Listen in on The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, Saturdays at 12:05.
Picking up the Honey Baked Ham is the official start of the holidays for me.
Oh, Honey Baked Ham is the best tasting ham ever.
Oh, I love that sweet, crunchy glaze.
And it's easy to serve.
Leftover sandwiches and football.
It's tradition.
Smoked bone-in ham, tender, sweet, crunchy. That's the tradition.
Oh, you know they serve turkey, too.
I love Honey Baked.
I just got mine.
Visit your Honey Baked Ham store and cafe, open 7 days at 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue behind Best Buy near Regal Theater.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Have you heard of Hyperdirectory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to local companies when it matters most. Hyperdirectory is your local business directory partnered with the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership to bring you trusted local businesses. Keeping Ocala local. Use hyper.directory. No www, not even .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I was looking at something yesterday that was saying that the trend with books is going the other way now. People are wanting books and the fad of having the Kindle book. And not that there's anything wrong with Kindle. I use Kindle all the time now, but apparently more books are being sold, and the Kindle numbers are dropping off, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And I'm guessing that's probably true, especially for, I don't know, maybe young kids. I don't know. You always, when Harry Potter was big, and I guess it still is, but the kids would always have the book. They didn't have, but I don't know back then if that technology was there. Jackie Minniti is on the phone. She's up in New Jersey with family for the Thanksgiving holiday. She actually lives down here. Where do you live down here, Jackie?
Treasure Island.
Oh, Treasure Island. Well, you picked a place with a cool name, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like being on for somebody from New Jersey. It's like being on vacation every day.
Yeah, right. So the book obviously is going to be very attractive for young readers. Do you have any feedback yet from your audience?
You know, the funny thing about that, when my dad's been bugging me for years and years to write this as a book, and I always told him, Dad, we love the story, but there really is no audience. You know, adults wouldn't be interested in this, and I don't know why it never occurred to me to write it for a middle grade audience or a young adult audience, because I taught reading in middle school, but it just never clicked until a stranger, actually, that my dad had been talking to, came up to me at my son's wedding and said, you know, you should write this story down. Your dad's telling me this fascinating story. And I explained about there was no audience. And he said, well, I have a sixth grade daughter, and she knows nothing about American history, and she'd love a story like this, and she could learn so much. And it was like a light bulb went on. And I thought, why hadn't I ever thought of that? So as soon as I made that connection, the rest of it, it just kind of poured out of me. It was very
it's
easy
interesting
to write the book once I had researched it. And the odd thing is, when I look on Amazon, the reviews that are coming in from adults, and I'm getting all of this feedback from adults that they love the book.
That's not surprising.
And the publisher told me she felt it had crossover appeal. She compared it to The Book Thief. And felt it had that same kind of crossover appeal.
And you do something excellent at the end. I mean, you have actually done a glossary of sorts. You've written the French words in there and what they mean in English, and I just think that you're really doing a service to the students by giving them a heads up to become multicultural.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, and I'm hoping they'll learn history, because it seems that since, as a teacher, I look at it as since we've gone to social studies, history seems to be getting watered down, and the kids don't have a really firm concept of that. And the best way for me, when I was younger, for me to learn history was through novels. And I'm hoping this will help them to see what the greatest generation sacrificed and what they went through to get us to where we are and to give us the kind of freedom we have now. And I'm hoping that'll give them an appreciation for what their great-grandparents did. But it's the other thing I tried to do, I put my teacher hat on. I was thinking of this in terms of maybe how I would teach this book in my classroom. So I have a study guide it's really extensive. I used to write curriculum when I taught. And I have a study guide available on my website for teachers or homeschool parents. Anybody who wants to use this as an instructional tool, they can just go on and download it. It's got pre- and post-reading activities. It's got reproducible worksheets. It's got a vocabulary list, of words that the kids might not be familiar with. But it's pretty detailed and extensive. So if a teacher wanted to teach this, or a parent to a homeschooler, they could actually plug this unit in and teach the whole book. And I've also cross-referenced it with the Common Core state standards.
Oh, wow.
So
when I think Anne Frank's father was the one who decided to publish her diary, and I've often thought that was kind of a brilliant move, because the way everybody read Anne Frank's diary when they were kids, right? And none of us really cared about the war a whole lot, but what we cared about was human relationships and what this young girl was writing about. And the things that she wrote about, and embedded in there, you get to learn about this horrible thing that was happening around her, and that was almost a stroke of genius on her father's part to have it published. And maybe he knew, maybe he didn't know, that it would literally educate us. I mean, that's me. I was a kid when that came out.
Yeah,
and I'm 60 now, but I mean, at the time, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, when you were 14, 12, whatever years you read that book for the first time, I'm guessing none of us really knew a whole lot about World War II, right? Just that our parents had been there, right?
No, our parents would never talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the odd thing, when this gentleman came up and was telling me about his 6th grade daughter, he mentioned the Diary of Anne Frank. He said that he had given that to his daughter and told her she needed to read this, and she would not believe that it was nonfiction. He said he had such a time trying to convince her that this actually happened. She just couldn't believe that this really happened. And I thought, gee,
wow.
We have to do a better job of getting kids educated about their history. They say if you don't learn history or learn from her history, you're doomed to repeat it.
But if you had written a history book, I don't think the kids would be picking up on it. The fact that you've got things in the book like when the cat runs away, for example, I mean that's the kind of thing that I would pay attention to. It's like, whoa, the cat ran away. I feel bad. You hope they find the cat. What was the name of the cat, by the way? It had a French name.
Clinoche. I wanted to name it something that had to do with the fact that it had the one eye. I don't know where the cat was there from the beginning. When I first got the idea to write the book, I saw this one-eyed cat, and so it kind of roughly translates to Winky, because he looks like he's winking all the time.
Oh, okay. You had referenced earlier about Common Core in the languages. Are you for that? I just wanted to ask.
No.
Oh, okay.
As a teacher, no. I really don't think there's a one-size-fits-all. I think those kinds of decisions are best left to local districts because they know their population better. I think there should be standards, definitely, but what seems to have happened since Common Core is that there's just been an emphasis on testing that I feel is unhealthy, and I used to teach kindergarten. That was when I first started. I was in the lower elementary grades in kindergarten, and I'm very distressed by what I see happening in the kindergartens today. The curriculum has been pushed down about a year and a half. So what I was teaching, what was being taught in first grade, maybe the second half of first grade, is what's being taught in kindergarten now. And I see the kids, little kids that are getting really turned off because they're being expected to do things that are developmentally inappropriate. And I have always been a developmentalist in terms of my approach to education. I believe that kids may be exposed to more, they may be more, tech savvy, but basically a 5-year-old is a 5-year-old developmentally. They are ready to learn certain things. So you have to teach them where they are.
If our legislators would listen to the teachers, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, there were very few. I don't know if there were any teachers involved in these in this Common
Right,
Core.
exactly.
Right.
I don't think, at least I don't think there were any teachers that knew about Piaget and developmental levels, because it astounds me. I saw my own grandchildren that, when they were in kindergarten, I was just banging my head against a wall. There were in first grade, they had them doing things that they were calling pre-algebra. Kids don't have a grasp of a number concept at that age to be able to do this abstract stuff. They should be using counters and an abacus and manipulatives. That's where they are at that stage. And a lot of it's just they're just spending so much time prepping them for tests that my one of my grandson came home the second half of kindergarten. They weren't able to, he was in a half day kindergarten, and they weren't able to have show and tell anymore because there was no time, and they weren't able to have snack in the second half of the year because there was no time, and they hardly ever had playtime because all they were doing was worksheets and test prep.
Jackie, you've charmed us with this interview. I'm so sorry I had to cut you short right there, but we're just about out of time. I want to make sure the listeners can get the book.
Okay.
First of all, Jackie sent us a copy, so I have one. Call me if you want the one that was sent to us. It's yours, 622-9622. I'll just pick a number at random and give it to you. The rest of us will have to go buy it. Do you have a website for the book?
Yes, it's JackieMinniti.com.
Okay, and that's JACKIE. Minniti, and actually Robin already put that on the website, so that makes it easy. Plus, this interview will be on Facebook and YouTube by 2:00 this afternoon. And I guess finally, it's on Amazon. It's on what's it called, Barnes and Noble, all the other ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's available any place. It's traditionally published, so it's available any place you buy books.
And is it available as an ebook?
Yes, it's a Kindle. It's available at iTunes. It's Smashwords. All of his ebooks. All that, they're all formatted.
And the kids apparently are picking up the books now.
I'm glad they are.
Going backwards. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I think it's a good
I
idea.
Hope so. I like to have a book in my hand.
I know. Everybody's got their own thoughts, though. Jackie, thank you so much. What a delightful conversation we had with you, and have a great time with your family up in Jersey.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages,